boys, today we're starting a new topic. So start a new page and put this topic heading at the top of your page. It's called Graphing Linear Equations. We're not going to get to the graphing part today, we're just going to learn some basics. Okay, so we're learning about tables of values and how to fill them in. Okay, so in this question here, we're completing the table. So you can see we've got a table here. There's some numbers, but there's some empty boxes that we have to complete. They will always give you a rule. The rule for this one is y equals x minus 1. Okay, so what we do is we take our first x value, which is x equals 3, write it down, then write our rule down, y equals x minus 1. Now what you're going to do is just copy everything, but when you get to the x, you're going to put the 3 in that spot. So we're going to write y equals, the 3 goes in for x, because x equals 3, minus 1. Then you just get your calculator to work this out, and you've got y equals 2. When you get that answer, because we used x equals 3, our answer for that goes underneath, so we put a 2 in that spot. Okay, so we're going to do the same for these other ones. We're always using this rule, y equals x minus 1 for this question. So where you see the x, we're going to put a 7 this time, because 7 was the next number in our table. Okay, so we're going to fill it in. Y equals, 7 goes in for x, minus 1. Work out 7 minus 1 on your calculator, and you'll get 6. When you get that answer, you come over to this and put the 6 in. Now we're using our next number in our table, which is x equals minus 1. So write it down, x equals minus 1. Write down your rule. And now we're going to put the minus 1 in for x in that spot. So now we have that. Always use your calculator and you will get y equals minus 2. Then we go and put that in our next number for our table. Then we come back over here, write the rule down again, and this time we're using our next number from our table, which is x equals minus 8, and write the rule down, and where you see the x, you're going to put minus 8 in that spot, and then use your calculator to work that out, and you'll get y equals minus 9. Okay, now the next one has already been done, so no need to do that one. So we're jumping to this last one, x is 5. So we're going to use x equals 5, write our rule, put our number in for x, this time it's a 5, and use your calculator to work it out. And that's the last number that's going in our table over here. Oops, I missed one. I should have put that one for the minus 8, we've got a y of minus 9, and I forgot to write it down. And then we've got a 4 here finishing it off. Alright, so we're going to do another one. This time we've got this table, and here's our rule. Now with this one, anytime you have a number and a letter, you know from your algebra that there's a time sign between those. So we're going to remember that each time. So we're going to take our first n value of 8, n equals 8, write our rule down, k equals 2n, and put the times in between them so you don't forget. Alright, so now when we get to the end, we're going to put an 8 down. So when we get to that end, we're going to write an 8 in that spot. So it's going to look like this. And then you can use your calculator to multiply those numbers. And you'll get 16. That's our first number in our table. So now we're going to our next n value of minus 1. And we're going to use our rule k equals 2n again. Don't forget there's a times in here. So we have k equals 2 times, and n is minus 1. And use your calculator and you'll get k equals minus 2 to go in this next spot. Now we're jumping over this next one because that's done. So our next n value is 0, and our rule is k equals 2n. Don't forget the times sign in between the number and the letter. And then we're just going to put our 0 in for n and work it out. And put our k equals 0 answer in here, in the table. Alright, next one. Put our rule down again. Don't forget your times sign. And then we're going to put our 4 in for n. over here and work it out on your calculator. And our last number going in our table is k equals 8. Alright, so this next question hasn't given you a table, but they have got a rule. We always write the rule down first. There's our rule. Now, the other thing they've told you, so always start with your rule. The other thing they've told you is x equals minus 3. So in that spot where the x is, we're going to put minus 3. So if we do that, this is what we're going to get. Minus, then for x we're putting minus 3, and then copy that down. Now you can do that straight in your calculator. You can press minus 3 minus 4. Okay, the calculator will do all of that work for you, and you will end up with an answer of minus 1. So that's all they wanted you to do there. So we're going to come back in the next video and just do 2 more examples.